Okay. Take your boot, sister. Good morning, Lois. How are you, Lois? Jackie. We are good. Hi, Bubba. I love him. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Lois. Okay. What are you going to do with that, huh? As soon as I bring it up, he sits down. You crazy boy. I'm on to you, you know. I am. Back to work, sir. Earn your keep. Well, of course. They're both as American as can be, right? Hi, Logan. You're back. Good morning, Carl Shell. Hey, Tatters. Good morning. Carl, Lois is here. She said, good morning, Carl. Okay. We're good. Our back is have been a little bit off. So we're going to be very careful today because taking time off from work at Pepsi because of a back problem is not fun. They kind of punish you. They put you on overnights and you have to work in the warehouse. Just sitting all night in the warehouse. You get up occasionally, sweep the floors. It's horrible. It's torture. Hi, Nino. Good morning. Logan is #1. Yay. Good for you, Logan. You get tortured in school? I'm sorry. Well, it's a good thing school's out right now, right? You're starving, huh, Carl? What are you having for breakfast? Your type of job, Nino? No, it's torture to me. Oh my gosh. Nino's starving too, Carl. What are you guys having? What'd you have for supper, Nino? Noah says it's time to find some breakfast, Carl. Hi, Tom. What is he doing? He's avoiding being seen. Like me. Much like me, he's avoiding being seen. How are you, Tom? Good morning. You can't get away that easily. You cannot. I won't allow it. You move, I'll move. Kat, when's the last time you had a bagel with Philadelphia cream cheese? It's been probably at least a year and more. I did think about it, but then I thought about all those carbs and how I should be buying something more healthy. And then I buy Pop Tarts instead. Carl says, Irish schools are back next week. Really, Carl? Getting tortured in school, you're saying that's the truth, Logan? I'm really, really sorry. I hope you're talking to some adults about it. I mean, not me. I'm an adult, but I can't help you from here, honey. Somebody at school, your parents. Lois says, so in a week, all the kiddos won't be bothering you, Carl. You had a salad and dried cranberries or craisins with an ice cold Dasani water. Oh, you traitor. Not the Dasani. I don't think you should drink any bottled and plastic waters, to be honest. But if you're going to do it, you got to do Aquafina. What are you doing to me? Support your local cat, Nino. Right, Jack? Say support your local cat. Drink Pepsi products. Eat Sabra hummus. What else? That's what I'm looking for right there. Hi, Nate. You like Ohio, Nate? Nate, are you getting smoke in Ohio? Hi, Michael. Michael says good morning, Cat&Jack family, and to Jack. Hope everyone's having a great morning. I'm just laying in bed with Snowflake while Moonlight and Nosh are sleeping. Those little rascals are finally sleeping. Carl cannot eat for another 2 hours. How come, Carl? Wassa says that look he's given you. He's always given me looks. He's famous for his side eye. If I ever do get merch, it'll be something about Jack and his side eye. And Mabel, of course. Michael's trying to keep his window shut good because the Canada fire, so my cats don't have issues. It's very bad in Connecticut. I'm sorry. Dang. Lois is yummy Pop-Tarts. Wassa. Pop-Tarts with all the corn syrup. I know. I'm an addict. I am totally addicted to sweets. I eat my feelings in sugar. Flo Farm, how are you? How did things go yesterday? Hi, Sarah Washington. Carl's on blood pressure monitor, so you can't eat for a certain amount of time. I didn't know that, Carl. Logan, I told you if you need help, you need to tell in real life adult, honey. But you're not in school right now, so you can't possibly be being bullied by kids in school right now. Good Friday morning, Miss Sarah. Wassa says, was that I read that side eye, stink eye, or crook eye? I've never heard of a crook eye. Sarah says the smoke is everywhere. Yes, Logan. Flo Farm says, hello, Carl, my friend. Michael says, the smoke messed up my breathing for 2 days. I have asthma very bad. I am recovering from asthma really bad. So I'm watching for it to stay away. Yes, sweet Logan. What do you have to tell us? Wassa says hello to everybody. I won't be here on Saturday or Sunday. I hope you'll be doing something fun, Logan. Flo Farm says, okay, better not. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. Okay. I love you. I'm sending you so much love, my friend. Logan says, I'm out. I'm not talking about the darn school anymore. What are you talking about, honey? Michael says, good morning, Wassa. How's your Friday morning going so far? It's still Thursday night for Wassa. Lois says, smoke really bad here. Oh, you guys stay in. I hate to say that. You know, we should be outside as much as possible, but now we have to stay in. Hi, Marlon. Your phone is hardly charging. Can't stay. Light down. Thank you, Marlon. We love you. Oh my gosh. Whew. All the smoke talking, you're making my nose itch. Okay. I'm taking the phone from you since you are not cooperating. And that way I can mute when I cough and blow my nose because I feel ridiculous. Well, there you go, buddy. There you go. That red in your backdrop does nothing for your coat. You're going to your grandma's house. Good, Logan. That's fine, Flow Farm. I understand. Oh, thank you for the love. Carl says, I'll be drinking the C word with Laura in 2 hours' time. Congrats. I'm glad. Rebar, hello. Does this dog attack on command? Of course. Doesn't he look like it? Jacob, give him just a little sign of it. Well, there you go. Michael says, yes, I worried about my 3 girls more than myself. They come first. They are all like my kids, and I do anything for them. That's awesome, Michael. Wassa says, I see you, Flow Farm. I saw it changed my name. Flow Farm says, such a beautiful boy. So, so beautiful. You're sweet. Carl says, hi, Flow Farm. Wassa says, what is he thinking about right now, I wonder? I don't know. You tell me what he's thinking about right now, Wassa. Jack, company. Hypernova Steve. I don't know. What do you think? Wait a minute, Hypernova. I might be hyper excited about Pepsi. You have to tell me. What do you think? What's your assessment, sir? What's your diagnosis? And hello. Good morning, Hypernova Steve. Thank you, Flow Farm. Wassa says, I guess we know what he was thinking. Lois says, what do you think, Steve? Everybody's saying hello to you, Steve. Good morning. Michael says, the dog's upstairs. I worried when they need to go outside for the bathroom. But what can we do? They need to go. They're not like the cats. Yeah. You just do your best. You do your best, Michael, and try not to worry because worrying just makes you sick. You try. You try not to worry. I know it's hard with your babies. Is Rosie here? Did I miss you, Rosie? There she is. Hi, Rosie. Good morning. Hypernova Steve says, do you like Diet Pepsi? I don't like any diet stuff. Carl said that he's knocking that wall down. Also says Carl is going to vandalize the poopsie wall. He is. I told him eventually we'll do a tear down the wall. Eventually. But then I was thinking about using it as a headboard. It's a little bit big, but I don't have a true headboard. And wouldn't that be cool as my headboard? OMG. Maybe not. I have some ideas in my head. Eventually, I'm going to have to move into another room to actually sleep. A lot of smoke there. Ooh. Lois says Miss Debbie isn't going to let you near that wall, Carl. That's right. Hypernova Steve says, I have dolls too. Oh, really? I'm afraid to ask. What kind of dolls do you have, Steve? Watson says, howdy doody, Rosie. It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. Hang on just a minute. I have a question. Did Howdy Doody have a song? And was it something like that? It's Howdy Doody time. Lois says, yes, be a very cool headboard. Thank you. Hypernova Steve says, my dolls stare at me too. They're good listeners. Flow Farm says, I think it's great. Thank you. Nina says there is a wild cherry Pepsi. You know what it is? It's that new prebiotic soda. I was thinking about that. You know how these trends go. Like if one company comes up with like a pre or probiotic or a prebiotic thing, eventually you'll see all the companies doing it. So Pepsi has a regular prebiotic soda and then a cherry Pepsi prebiotic, and that's what that is. Rosie says, huh? Yep, shrugging. How are you doing, Rosie? Carl says, you upset me, Cat. I know. What time is it? Wait a minute. It is. Stupid Cat. Come on. 3:19. 20 minutes in, and I have not told Carl Shell how much I love him. Carl Shell, I love you. I love you. I love you. Michael says, I worried also for my girlfriend and her daughter in Canada. They're right near the fire in Canada. Oh no. That is scary. You live alone too, Hypernova. Steve, do you have any pets? So I don't really live alone. I have lots of company. The best kind too. Best kind of company. Sarah says, hi, Rosie and Steve. Have I tried one? No. They didn't offer it to me for free, so no. No, they don't still make the Crystal Pepsi. I bet you they'll bring it back in the next couple of years. You know how they bring stuff back. But they wouldn't do it seriously because it wasn't a great seller. It's just like a novelty, I believe. That's my belief. It was before my time. Rosie says, okay, I think. How are you? I'm good. I'm up. She says, hi, Sarah. Logan says, what about me? I love you too, Logan. Flow Farm says, oh, good. I did not miss much of your stream then. No, ma'am. And you don't have to be here. Oh, my gosh. Don't feel you have to just because I hung out with you. I'm doing this. I got to get ready for work, so that's why I stream in the morning, because I'm getting ready for work anyways. Spit out your words, Cat. Hypernova Steve says, I talk to my dolls sometimes. Do you? You didn't tell me. What kind of dolls are your dolls? We have somebody in here who has teddy bears. I think he has like 4 or 5 teddy bears. Lois says, hello, Logan. Wassa says, Howdy Doody is an old reference. It's not a show? Isn't that... Yes, I know it's an old reference, but I thought it was a show too. Michael says, I have heard from both of them since it happened. I have so many companies here, 3 companions here, 3 cats, 1 guinea pig, and 12 fish. Moonlight and Nosh love to watch the fish. I know, you told us. That's funny. What's up, Jack? Jack's up. Who here remembers me? Asked Logan, the nuclear expert. I remember you, of course. Nina says, would Pepsi ever make a citrus soda? Well, I think they did, didn't they, with Mountain Dew? They had a Mountain Dew citrus. It was in a, and they had the zero too, and it was in a, all right, it was in a, like a turquoise box. Logan said no. No? No what? Sarah says, hi. Hi, Logan. I heard something next to me. Here, Bubba. You so cray-cray. Hang on. I'll get you. I got you, sir. Here you go. Look at that butt. You so get it. Good? Is that good? Yes. Okay. You're done. You're fired. Okay, easy. Easy. I love you. You're such a good puppy. You're the very best puppy. Yes, you are. Sorry, Jack said he needs some attention, damn it. Quit talking to that phone, huh, Jackie? I know how you feel about it. I do know. Why don't you go eat? You should go eat. Don't shake your head no at me. Go eat. Go eat your food, sir. You're funny. I love you. I love you so much. I do. All right. Crazy. Whew. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. What happened? Carl, I love you. Was from Lois. Sorry. What did Rosie say? Logan, Cat loves you, but I'm her favorite. Funny. Flo Farm says, I have watched without saying. I know you told me that. I appreciate you. It's really nice. I do that sometimes. Jack, you're so unhelpful, sir. So unhelpful. All right. Okay. Good job, sir. Wassa says it was a very old show. I thought I've seen like snippets of it here and there. And I was just thinking, I was wondering if I was remembering the song for it. Michael says, I have 25 teddy bears in my old closet from 1977 to 1988. Are those the Christmas bears, Michael? Oh no, Hypernova Steve says, I get mad at my doll sometimes at my dolls because they are mean sometimes. You know, Big Deb, she's like that. She Yes, sometimes we have to break up because she's not so kind to me. I understand. Oh no, Hypernova Steve, you're going too far, friend. Wassa says, Steve, what if the dolls end up angry about that? My dolls argue about food all the time. Oh no. Hi, William. Good morning. Logan says, I just grabbed a bunch of slices of white bread. Okay, what are you going to do with that? Wassa, Steve wants to know what he should do. Logan says, time to eat it all. Yes, it is. Go ahead. Flo Farm says, did you paint that picture? I did not paint anything. Are you talking about my Pepsi board? I'm not sure if you are. Are you talking about that? That thing hiding behind my camera thing? Michael says Moonlight and Nosh are on a vet plan for. I know you were telling me yesterday they're on a vet plan that covers everything. There's more on the plans you need to look at. Great. It's really glad that. It's really lucky they have that for you, right? Logan wants a puppy face reveal. Walking Tall, good morning. Walking Tall says, what's up, beautiful cat? And how are you and Jackson this evening? We're doing good this morning. Same old, Walking Tall. Both of us avoiding the camera. You know how it goes. Steve says, my doctor says, keep taking my pills. Great advice. Michael says, yes, Christmas bears. That's what I thought. Logan says, show me the puppy, beautiful, adorable face. That's as best as you're going to get right now. He's just not wanting to comply. So it was that song, it's howdy doody time, it's howdy doody time. Kind of lame, but yes, thank you. I don't know why it's in my head. Every time somebody says howdy doody, that song goes through my brain. Lois says, hello to Walking Tall. Walking Tall, I did. I measured it. You are as tall as that wall. And that's just crazy. That's craziness to me. How do you get on in life? Being so tall. Carl, no, you've been to all the teddy bears. No, you did not. I know you didn't do that. Logan says, I ate it all. That was pretty quick. Steve says, my dolls are my only friends, though, so you should treat them nicely if they're your only friends. Flo said, no, yes, that one. No, it's a bunch of, if you look at it, when I was a salesman for Pepsi, I would take all the displays from Dollar Generals. Like the alien is an old pitch black display. So is the cat up there. But yeah, I just take old Pepsi things, Pepsi advertisements off the old cardboard displays, and yeah, just make stuff. Whatever was going on in my life. You see down there, there's Yogi. Yogi is the turtle with the birthday cake. The frog prince, the broken frog prince, you can guess who that is, right? Just little stuff. You know what this is, right? We all know what that is. Come in clearer, would you? Anyways, yeah, that's what that is. I was bored. And I was thinking about, I had a plan for it, but then it was too nice. I didn't want to do what I was going to do with it. Broken says to Hypernova Steve, what kind of dolls do you have? I've asked him 100 times. Wassa says, I don't know, Steve. Have you ever seen the Talking Tiny episode of The Twilight Zone? You might find some ideas there. I've never heard of that, but I have watched The Twilight Zone. I love The Twilight Zone. Logan says, does anyone have any nuclear reactor questions? Michael says, yes, they told me to put the kittens on plans and not do what I did with Midnight Junior, not add her on any vet plans. Yeah. Steve says, I have pumpkin dolls, Matt. Real John Shields. Hey, John, good morning. Wassa says, yeah, check out that episode. Sounds like fun. Are you negative 90 feet tall? Is that what that says, Logan? Flo Farm agrees with you. Real John Shields. Is there an unreal John Shields out there? Is that a name of somebody popular? Or is that just, I'm wondering. Somebody's finally decided to eat. There you go. Got some tail this morning. Michael had said, I wish I had Midnight Junior on a plan, but never did. She never Oh, she had liver issues and my old ex tossed out all of her meds. I would know more about Midnight Junior if I had her on a vet plan. Yeah. Hypernova Steve says, I like your channel because I can relate to your dolls. Great. I love that. I have not met anybody else who has dolls too, Steve. Flo Farm says, oh, that's how you got those. Cool. Yeah. Carl says, I'm left out. Carl, I know it can feel that way sometimes, but you're never far from my mind. What does that mean, jabby art? Wassa says, oh boy, jabby art. What does that mean? Rosie says, me too, Carl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you both feel left out. I thought you were part of my family. William said, being included isn't worth it, Carl. Wow. Wassa says, talking Tina, not talking Tiny. Oh, the Talking Tina episode of, well, that sounds familiar now. Lois says, never, Carl. And I know she means that for Rosie, too. Oh, you mistyped. I didn't know if you mistyped it or I misread it. Wassa says, hello to William. Flo Farm says, I'm listening. Need my hands for a few, for sure. Thank you. Hypernova Steve. Hey, if you guys have not checked out Flo Farm, you should. Great friend. She's got a great heart. She's on a wonderful mission. Steve says, I carve my own dolls. Do you really, Steve? Do you really? Because we have somebody who carves things too that hangs out here. Interesting. Logan says, I need somebody to ask me a nuclear question. And Wassa says, Carl, you're not left out. Michael says, my niece who lives with me, I'm almost caught up. My niece who lives with me's friend from college asked if the women had any more kittens. I said no more. I didn't tell them why. That's good. Yeah, some things are better kept left unsaid. Michael, that was kind of you. And Wassa says, I'm still paying attention to you, Carl, even if Cat misses something. You met your niece who lives upstairs? Hypernova Steve says, my dolls sometimes argue with me, but they are nice most of the time. Nancy says, I don't feel left out, just copying Carl so he doesn't feel left out. Aw, you're so sweet, Rosie. Logan says, I am Hypernova. And hey, don't be cussing at people. I allow you to cuss just to get it out of your system, Logan, but you cannot cuss at people. There's a little bit of a difference. Rosie's sad. And Wassa says, Logan, I'm 50. Sorry, I was listening to hear Jack scratch at the door. Logan. That's right. Rosie says, Logan, chill your butt down. Flo Farm says, Cat, thank you. So kind. Much love. Aw. Same to you, my friend. No, sir. You just came in. Come on. I know you don't want to look at my dog's food bowls. He finally finished. Let me go tell him he's not going back outside. We've already been out. When I went out this morning, it was so cute. I had my big light and I was flashing it at the fence line and I saw these cute little eyes and I was like, is that a big cat? What the heck is that? No, it was a deer. The deer was laying down on the other side of my fence, just looking at me. It was so cute. Sorry, sir. We're not doing that right now. That's not part of the plan. Carl says, I'm sad and I'm waking all the managing moderators up. Oh no. Well, phew, I feel like I've dodged a bullet there, Carl. Right, Jack? Wassa says, Logan, we do, I assure you. Good morning, Zed. Rosie says, we do what? I'm lost already. Yeet and yeet. And Logan said, somebody just asked me a nuclear question already. I don't know anything about nuclear stuff to ask you a question, my friend. I don't know what a 54 burger is. You wish your dolls were that big? Steve? Rosie says, Carl, I'm your bestie, right? And Lois says, and so do I, Logan. Zed said, wow, what's wow, Zed? Michael said, kittens enjoy playing with the small Pepsi bottle, pushing it around. Oh, I used to give Jack Gatorade bottles, empty Gatorade bottles when he was a puppy. We had them all over the house, and he would just make so much noise and have so much fun until he started chewing them too much, and then we couldn't do that anymore. And then I stopped drinking Gatorade, so there you go. Logan says, how many 50-year-old people are watching this? Maybe a few. You never know, Logan. Wassa says, Logan, at what rate is the fallout from Fukushima raising the planet's rad background radiation levels on an annual basis? There you go. Great question, Wassa. Carl says, I'm out of here. All right, Carl. I love you. I'm not going to play your song today because I don't have it on. Unless you want me to play your song. If you want me to play your song, I'll get it all together, Carl. You let me know. I'm going to cough now. Okay, what was wow, Zed? Did I miss it? Logan answered right away. It isn't. The radiation is contained. Michael said, I'm 49 and enjoy watching Cat&Jack live with Jack and so many great people in this live. I agree. Thank you for that, Michael. Lois says, I'm way past 50, Logan. Rosa says, Logan, how about search up questions that are asked about nuclear and answer it to yourself sometime? Flo Farm says, I'm older than 50. Wassa says, later, Carl, I'll watch in case you go live on Friday. Is that a possibility? Hey, Logan, do you know it's kind of rude to ask a woman her age? I know it's kind of silly to you, but it is. Zed says, thought I was a good friend. What does that mean, Zed? Are you upset? Are you another one who's upset about the moderators? Because I took away everybody's moderator status and only a few people still have it. And I have very particular reasons why. So, and it's absolutely nothing personal for anybody. Um, so if that was it, I'm sorry. Right? Wassa says, Logan, you probably don't want to ask females their ages, but Lois is kind and told you anyways. Sarah said to Logan, is it contained to Japan? Logan says, how am I supposed to know who here is a woman? That's pretty right. I guess you're right. But Lois is a female's name. Are there any? Nope. Lois. You have to look at the names, my friend. Wassa says, hey, Zed. And Lois says, I'm proud of my age. And Logan says, yay. Phil Farm says, I understand that, Cat. Makes sense. William says, really? I thought you took mine because I asked to not have the responsibility of modding and I was trying to quit coming to YouTube. I don't know. Maybe I did at some point, but I went through and took everybody out. Completely everybody at one point and just added back in a few people, like I said, for specific reasons, nothing personal. Watson says, but I mean, if that's what you want to feel better about, William, yes, that's why I took yours. Hey, William, I love you, William. Watson says, Logan, that's a fair question, actually, although Lois and Rosie and some are obvious. Logan says, Sarah, it is well within Japan. The radiation. And Phil Farm says, shoot, I've been on top chat. What does that mean? Zed says, LOL, really don't care. What did you mean by it then? I mean, I don't know what you said. I thought I was a friend, or I thought whatever that comment was about. I don't think I understood. I was just guessing. That's what you get in trouble for, not understanding something and you just assume, right? I don't know nothing. That's the truth. I know nothing. I can only assume or make up my own stories in my head. Thanks, Jack. I knew you were going to sit there. That's why I set all your friends up beside you. Bill, you have some definite feelings, huh? So you don't like my girlfriend? Zed says, it's good to see you. And Phil Farm says, I understand you about the mods. I need to also. And Phil Farm says, hey, Zed. Rosie says, Jack, you're really a beautiful dog. I love you all. Right. William says, I selfishly don't want to help Maud, and I, for the first time, don't feel sorry for being mindful of myself. Is that you, puppy? Is that you on the TV? Okay, I know how you feel about it. You're awful cute, though. Aw, it's all right, Jack. You're the cutest puppy, though. Jason said the dog is eyeing you. He might have been. Now he was watching himself on the TV. Logan said, Sarah Washington, as of today, the Fukushima Daiichi NPP radiation is not leaking out. The exploded reactors are in containment buildings. The world is safe from Fukushima Daiichi. I don't know if I said that right. From Rosie sending love to Jack because he's being pitiful. Sarah says to Logan, will all the Japanese get sick or only those from the prefecture? Rosie said, wow, he's mad. He's not fond of seeing himself on TV. It's interesting. Zed says, homeless, peeing in, yes, while living in a tent. So you still didn't explain your comment to me, Zed. I want to understand what you meant. Logan says, Sarah, only plant workers got sick. People were evacuated. Rosie has a question. Logan says, yes, Rosie. Logan, where is the place that the animals have evolved and changed drastically because of the what's left of the, I don't know, radiation in the area? You know, you see documentaries and stuff where people sneak in and take pictures. What place is that? William says, I will be there soon, Zed. Sarah says, thanks, Logan. And he said, you're welcome. He does know a lot, doesn't he? Rosie says, why does he not like seeing himself? Does he think it's another dog or does he know it's him? The Chernobyl exclusion zone, Logan said. Okay, yeah, that's really interesting. And amazing and awe-inspiring. Anyways, I don't know, Rosie. He can see another dog on TV and he will react, but he reacts differently. Like he gets excited if he sees, I don't know if you guys know the YouTube channel Chessie's Adventures. I love her. She has a couple dogs and Jack loves watching them and he'll make noises like he's excited. But when he sees himself, he kind of whines like a baby. So I don't know how he knows and what he knows. And I don't know. Wassa says, Logan is actually correct. However, I do not trust that info I I just found because I know the implementation of 4 and later 5G waited for until the rising background radiation from Fukushima was high enough to silence anyone trying to raise alarms about it. I was thinking that too, that the amount of information that is available to us that is actually true is kind of questionable. They're not going to tell you, oh yes, massive people are going to get cancer over the next 100 years due to this. They're not going to say that. Well, they might not. I don't know. I don't think they would. Zed is taking you quite literally, William, and says, with 2 cats in a tent. Logan says, it is fine. Fukushima is safe for now. Sure hope so. So, Zed, what did you mean by your comment? I'm not going to let it go, just so you know. Rosie says, Logan, question. Logan says, yes, you guys are making Logan's day. Rosie says, how do chemical and nuclear reactions differ? Hi, Dylan. Good morning. Boy, yesterday was a hot one, huh, buddy? William says, probably not cats, since I can barely afford myself, but probably dried beans and such. But yes, maybe a month or 2. It was your blue ship. Okay. Thank you, Zed. Dylan said, yeah, and I was furious and mad. And I was going to, no, Dylan, no, 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 no. That's never okay, dear. Wassa says, yes, exactly, Kat. I think it's lies and it's contained. My friend has sensitive instruments and has been documenting the steady rising radiation levels in Tillan, Tillanook dairy products for years. Wassa says, hello, Dylan. Zed says, but don't care. I'm glad you don't. You're right. You have a lot of things going on that are more important than a blue shield that nobody cares about. It's really so unimportant in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't, like I said, it didn't change how I feel about you. I still love you, Zed. I'm still rooting for you. I still hope the best for you. I still watch your lives, whether you're live or it's just watching it later. I care very much about you, Zed. William says, I knew that was the case, Wassa. And Moo K, the muck but moo. I don't know what that is. Dylan says, but when I'm hot, I feel like hitting people because I'm hot. I know. Whew. Hey, Jack. William says milk, but an ooh ooh sound like a hooting out mook moo ooh. I can't. I can't. Logan says, so a nuclear reaction is something like nuclear fusion and fission. Fission. Fission splits atoms and fusion fuses atoms. Chemical reactions are simple, such as metal rusting or fire burning. Nice. Rosie says, Dylan, your mother has nothing to do with you being mad. Don't ever let your anger on someone who has nothing to do with it, specifically or especially your mother that birthed you. Dylan says, I'm sorry. It's okay, Dylan. You know what? I shouldn't give you such a hard time for actually just talking about how you felt. The fact that you did not do it is a really important thing. But I wonder if there's some ways that you can cool down so you don't even get to that point. Lois says, punch your pillows, Dylan. Do you not have a punching bag? Maybe you need a punching bag. I think that'll make you hotter, but maybe that would be good exercise. Exercise and a safe way for you to get out some of that anger. Wassa says, Tilla mook, 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 ooh, ooh. Tilla mook. Ooh, ooh. I can only say the ooh app sound like an owl unless I go, ooh. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, what was I saying? That it is in Oregon, directly across the Pacific from Fukushima. Wow. Logan said nuclear reactions split or combine atoms. Rosie says, well, I learned a new fact today. Thanks, Logan. Hi, Jed. Good morning. Jed, I haven't seen you in a while. Jed says, hello, Cat. I thought I would say hi. I've got to work Freddie's and my stepmom's office today. You're going to have a busy day then, huh, Jed? It's good to see you. Zed says, it's been a while since my darling. Was there more to that? Paul says, hello, everyone. Hi, Paul. Good morning. Rosie says, Dylan, you don't have to be sorry, but try not to hit yourself or others. I think he's doing a good job. He's just expressing that he's so mad. That's how mad he gets. But even getting that mad's not good for him. But Dylan, you are talking to people, right? Besides your mom, do you have a therapist you talk to? Or is it just your preacher? Your pastor, I mean. You're still working on me, huh, William? Tillamook. Tillamook. Rosie has a question, Logan. Flow Farm says, good words, Cat. I don't know what the words were, but thank you. Dylan says, yeah, but you don't want it to get yourself hotter either. No, I was thinking about that. But maybe you just wear yourself out. Maybe you would just wear yourself out so much you wouldn't have anything left to be angry with. Logan says, what is it, Rosie? Lois says, hi, Paul. How are you, Paul? How are you feeling? How did your doctors, I know you were just doing tests, right? So you don't have any answers yet. Am I correct about that, Paul? Rosie's question to Logan is, what happens if chemical and nuclear mix, or are they already mixed? Zed says, carving a pumpkin takes talent. Are you carving a pumpkin? Dylan says, but anyways, I'm sorry, Rosie. And Tom says, how is Jack with other dogs? Really, really good. Oh my gosh. Jack is so submissive that, yeah, all the dogs like him. Especially the little ones, you know, for a big dog to lay down to them. They really like that. Jed said, yes, I did that yesterday at Freddy's, 11 to 3, and at my stepmom's office from 3:30 to 5:25. Nice day. Sarah says, hi, Paul. And Dylan says, just my pastor, yeah. Did your mom ever talk about getting you a therapist, Dylan? Logan says, well, it depends. What chemical reaction, Rosie? William says, pretty close, like 7 out of 10, but A for effort, definitely. Rosie says, Dylan, you don't need to apologize. And she says, hi, Jed. Zed says, 2 olives don't make a martini. I've never had a martini, but I love olives. Wassa says, oh, hey, Paul, I missed your arrival somehow. Came in quietly. Dylan says, but anyway, sorry that I did respond to you. But anyways, hi to Wassa. Wassa says, hello, poet. Logan says, if it is a reaction to Rosie, like hydrogen buildup in the core igniting, you get a big explosion and radiation leaks and something like Chernobyl or Fukushima. Paul says, I'm okay. Hopefully everyone here is doing well. And Jed says, how are you doing, Wassa and Rosie? Dylan says, 1 no. But anyway, sorry that I didn't mean 1 no. Wassa says, Dylan, it's all good. Hello, my friend. Rosie says, Logan, wait, what's the buildup? And Zed says, 5 times 7 is not 3. And Logan says, Paul, hello. Rosie says, okay, Jed, how about you? And Logan says, what do you mean, Rosie? Wassa says, I'm hanging in as usual, but the yawns are getting more frequent by the second. I don't know how much longer I'll make it. That's okay. When I stop hearing from you, I figure you've gone to sleep. Except for the other day when you were mixing some food. You were making some questionable food decisions. I was worried you might be throwing up, but alas, you said you had just fallen asleep, and I was relieved. Flow Farm says, hello, Paul, and hi, poet. Paul, do you know Flow Farm? I bet you do. Dylan says, hey there. Rosie says, Logan, you said hydrogen buildup. How does it build up? Everybody's saying hello. Jed says, that's good news to hear, and I'm good, Rosie. Plus, I just responded to your comment. Rosie will be right back. Paul says, tests showed some nodules on the lungs that they want to keep an eye on every 3 months to see if they get any bigger. So I take that as good news. Yes, for sure. I like that, Paul. Thank you for letting me know. Ross says thumbs up, and Poet says, hey Lois. Rosie is back. Flow Farm says, I think I'm just meeting Paul. Paul is an amazing artist. Oh my gosh, the best. Logan says, from overheating and melting fuel rods with some chemical reactions in the water that is supposed to cool the reactor, splitting the oxygen and hydrogen. He just answered, Rosie, right above you. Dylan says, you have to have lungs to breathe. True. Rosie says, oh, there it is. Yes, you're right, Dylan. Logan says, it takes a while to type on my phone. You do really good, though. And Paul says, hi, Flo. It's nice to meet you. Flo Farm says, wonderful. I love art. Sarah says, hi, Flo Farm. And Jed says, I don't think I know Flo Farm. I've been very busy, Cat. Have you? Well, I think she's great. She rescues kitties and just has a huge heart and has the best statue. I love her garden statue so much. Rosie says, Logan, you should be a biology teacher. You're very smart. What do you want to do, Logan? Did you already tell us once what you want to do when you're older? Zed says, you could have had a Zed, but he is gone now. I'm sorry. Logan says, biology is not nuclear. That is human body. Well, thank you for the correction, sir. Jed says, yeah, I'm still doing 2 jobs, Cat. Good for you. You're a busy person. Rosie says, I know, LOL, but you should. Oh, to Logan. Paul says, I love you all. I love you, Paul. Rosie says, because in bio they teach something about that. Logan says, bro, I know nothing about the human body. And Flo Farm says, I'm weeding a path to her. It's almost taller than her. I know you were talking about it. Are you like me? My lawnmower died. I have like 2.2 acres and my lawnmower died. My lawn is definitely starting to show it. Rosie says, Logan, you're funny and smart. And Paul says, I'm okay, Rosie. Logan says, well, there is ARS, acute radiation syndrome. Rosie says, can we be friends? Because you're so smart, Logan. Dylan says, well, the fan is cooling me off now, so I'm not mad now. You're right. Dylan, you are right. What's important is right now, and you're doing good. You're doing great, Dylan. I'm really proud of you, Dylan. I love you, Dylan. And Lois says, love you, Paul. Walking Tall says, finally, Jacqueline on the bed. I don't know why it just looks better that way. Maybe it's just the aesthetics of the room. Maybe. Logan. Oh no, Logan says, I don't think that would be okay. I'm not sure what he's responding to, Rosie. Jed says, but I got work earlier in the morning, so I'm going to sleep. Love you all. Love you, Jed. Sweet dreams and have a great day at work. Rosie says, Paul, you can text me if you need. And Carl says, Laura says hi and goodbye. Hi, Laura. Bye, Laura. Carl, I hope you have a great day, my friend. Logan says, oh, is it? Oh, no, it's not. One more hour, right, Carl? One more hour for that Pepsi? Yeah, the Pepsi. Logan, I don't think there's a big age difference between you and Rosie. I'd be willing to bet there's not a huge age difference. But you can be friends with anybody. What are you talking about? Aw, Paul says likewise, Rosie. Walking Tall says, did you ever get the other part of your wall finished? You said you knew where to get the other Statue of Liberty. The store I'm going to today, I'm going to 2 stores today, and I'm going to steal it from somebody. So no. I mean, I got the wall done, but I did not get the Statue of Liberty on her, but I have plans today. The 2 stores I go to, I know one of them has it. So, almost. Thanks for remembering, Walking Tall. Duncan says we can kind of be friends. Just hear the, oh my gosh. Logan. Lois says that is great, Dylan. It is. Dylan said, wow. And Rosie said, good night, Jed. Logan said, I could help you fix that mower. You could? Can you come over and help me? I'm so sad and pitiful. Flow Farm says, actually, my brother was supposed to come help me. At least he did mow the lawn for me last week. When I did the Mabel video, I called him Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe is my brother. But I'm paying somebody to come today. Don't let me forget, write a check. Thank you for reminding me. Flow Farm says, it went quiet. I looked up. A kitten did something. Rosie says, Logan, no, we better be friends or I'm telling. Logan says, telling who? And telling them what? Lois says, hey, there's Carl. Rosie says, bye, Jed. Good night. And Jed says, Rosie, I responded back to you too. Great. Flow Farm says, I read that already. I was going back to make sure I didn't miss too much. Dylan says, Cat, I hope you don't get caught by stealing those items. It doesn't matter. They're just going to get thrown out. The good news is they'll just get thrown out anyways. They're not using them anymore. The 4th of July is over. By the way, the 4th of July is over. Nobody cares. It's just trash to somebody. One man's trash is another girl's treasure. Logan says, my parents would not be okay with me being friends with a complete stranger. That's pretty smart, Logan. Rosie says, Logan, if we can't be friends, oh, I already read that. Logan says, you're breaking my brain. And Rosie says, well, night, Logan, but I'm friendly, at least I think. Let's keep going. Jed had said, night, Cat, and I got a printer yesterday too. Awesome. Logan says, we can be friends, but if my parents find out, I'm fucked. Bruh, I'm under 20 years old, Cat. So is Rosie. So there you go. Rosie, don't start that with him. You see how much trouble and trauma that is causing you that you can't be honest with your parents? Jed said, good night, Sarah. She said good night to Jed and Carl. Flo Farm says, Theory Kitten exited me from your stream. Oh, I got you. I understand now. Marlon says, today is Yogi's lucky day. He keeps raining cats and dogs. You're funny. That was a good one, Marlon. Rosie says, LOL, dang, Logan, how old do you think I am? Logan says, no, they don't. But my mom already don't like me talking to Roblox people. That's because, good reason. Good for your mom. Marlon says, what? I don't remember. Logan says, in the under Rosie says, LOL, you gotta Roblox me too. Oh no. Rosie. Sarah says, I can't have a Subway sandwich. You cannot. And you want one? How come? What's going on? Logan says he doesn't think he's ever had a Subway sandwich. Rosie says there's just something about him. Rosie says, Logan, whether you like it, I'm your best friend now. At least in my imagination. Rosie says, what, Cat? I'm not doing anything. Yes, you are. Don't encourage him. Surfing my Redeemer, good morning. 8x8 on the star flag, Starfield collage. Very nicely done. Well, thank you. Sarah says that outbreak. Thank you for the seal. Thank you, serving my Redeemer. Thank you, thank you. I love that. It's so cute. Rosie is not LOLing. Oh no. What did we do? Oh, I'm innocent and I'm proving guilty. You've already told on yourself. See, the thing is, you've already told on yourself. That's the problem, Rosie. Oh gosh, my back. Yeah, I missed you, friend. I just wanted to say hi. I love you, puppy. I love you so much. Oh, my back is so tired this morning. It doesn't want to do anything. What did we do, Jack, that hurt Mama's back? Because I can't remember. Logan says, Rosie, I need you to play Oak Ridge Nuclear Power Station on Roblox. Rosie says, I'm not making him do nothing, I swear. Logan says, the difficulty is medium, I would say. Oh, that was really sweet of you. Paul says, you will find a better group of people anywhere else. It's because you're here, Paul. Logan says, for real, Paul. Rosie says, I'll play it after this live stream. Nice. Rosie, look out for him. I think he's a lot younger than you might imagine, even though he's super smart. Oh, thank you, Flo Farm. She says, still here, listening, lovely cat. I thought you told me your name. Did you tell me your actual name or not? Do you not tell your name? That's fine if you don't. Lois says we are all family on the stream. I like to think so. I feel like you are. Logan says, okay. Rosie, what age group did Roblox put you in? All right, contacts. You know I have done nothing to get ready so far. So we're going to put contacts in, I do believe. Logan says Lois is right, and you are the baby of the family, the very, very smart baby. Watch Stitch come in and say, I'm the baby, gotta love me. Oh, Rosie says, in that case, I quit. Wow, Rosie. I know you don't mean that. Logan says, I'm under 20. That's all you're getting. Walking Tall says, your wall would be a good place to hide money, and you can stick it in one of those boxes. Put the box back. No one would ever know. Unfortunately, if you saw my video making the wall Walking Tall, you'd see that it's not really an option. Long John, good morning. You're still alive and still going after all these things going on with you. Boy, you've had the worst luck, Long John. Sorry, too many L's going on this morning. Rosie says, that's a big number. That's funny. Oh my gosh. I can't even with you, Rosie. You're kidding me. She just walked out on you. She'll be back though. Oh my gosh. Stretch it. The back does not want to work. Rosie says, what did I do, Kat? I don't remember now. You really didn't do anything. Oh, except for you said when I said you have to look out for him, you said I'm out. You said something similar to the idea that I'm out then. And Logan wanted to know, what do you mean? Long John says, yeah, the universe is testing me, Kat. Well, you're doing all right, Long John. Excuse you, Jack. So rude. You don't love us no more? No? You're done? Hmm? All right, here you go. I sure do love you, puppy. I love him. He's such a good boy. Oh, yes. Oh, I know. You're so funny. Such a funny boy. With the itchy face. Yes. You're never getting away. But I will scratch your face really quick. Yes, I will. Because I know it's an itchy face. Such an itchy face, huh, Bubba? Yeah. Good? Are you good? Here. Is that better? Yeah? All right. I think we're better. Ooh, that look, Jack. My goodness. Wow. I don't need to get side eye from nobody. I get enough of it from my dog. I got stink eye from Jack at Cat&Jack's. That should be my merchandise one day, right? I got stink eye from Jack. Oh, stop it. Oh, you're right. Logan said, I saw when you made it. I don't see why you can't do it. You even know that you're missing the Statue of Liberty, which you said you were going to get a new one. Not quite sure if you did, though. No, that's today. I go to work today, and I will get one from one of the stores I go to. Walking Tall says, you must have said something. You got Jack's attention. He lifted up and started staring at you. I'm not sure what it was. Except for I got up. I stood up. Long John says, when Yogi said, is my car bill worth paying? I told him, yeah, if I want to work and live. Right. Yeah. Kai, hi, my friend. Kai says, hi, bye, love you. I love you too, Kai. Thank you for coming by. Serving My Redeemer says, might hide money up there and lose it anyways. Which box is it in? That actually, Walking Tall, it's a good idea. Except for now, everybody in the world could know where I could hide my money, so now I can't. But yes. Logan says, adorable puppy alert. Thank you, Logan. Serving My Redeemer's loving. Stank face Jack. Rosie says, Kai says, I was late. I love you, my sis. Birthday is tomorrow. Okay, Kai, I will remember. Come by so I can sing happy birthday to you, would ya? I love you, Kai. Sarah says, no fresh vegetables. Have they knocked out your vegetables because of that stomach bug? Rosie says, Logan, I had that app ever since I was younger. It never asked me, and I'm using chat. Logan said, weird. Lois says, hi, Kai, or hello, Kai. Rosie says, dang, Logan, making me old. Lois says, sounds great, Cat. Logan says, you don't trust banks, Cat? Sure, I use banks. But don't they tell you to keep an emergency fund? Very similar to if you've ever lived like in Florida, you keep a hurricane pack, keep some clothes packed, some emergency items, and some emergency cash. And so I do that just in general. Just in case something happens and the bank's closed and I need cash, I have enough I had enough for me and the girls, but now it's just enough for me because I spent some of it. But yes, definitely still use banks. Serving My Redeemer says, is that Mountain Dew for the red stripes? Cool. Yeah, it's Code Red. Rosie says, Logan, too late. Sarah said something about that bug, the stomach bug. You're not getting any sympathy from me, Rosie, that's for sure. Maddie says, love to you, Cat. Love to all. Flow Farm says, hello to Maddie. Marlon says, hey, my series of all Scottish units. Oh, that's a different word. It's not series. I'm not sure what it is. Crack me up, Marlon. Oh, Logan. Maddie says, hi, Flo. Much love. Maddie says, Marlon, no, far from me. Or far from me? I'm not sure. Paul says, hi, Maddie. Flo Farm says, I wasn't watching chat. That's fine. Sometimes that's the best way to be. Oh, Marlon said he was the sexiest Scottish something. Oh, hello, my sexiest of all Scottish units. Wow, Marlon. Maddie says, hi, Paul, buddy. Mercy says, Cat, on my dang back, LOL. What'd I do this time? Oh, what did you do? Oh, complaining about feeling old and being old. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Maddie says, hi, Rosie, and Lois says, hi to Maddie. Logan does not want to make you feel old again. Rosie. And Maddie says, Marlon, buddy. Rosie says, Maddie, hey. Everybody's saying hey to Maddie and back. Well, I think we should ask Chloe because she's the expert on this situation. Maddie says, I wouldn't go that far, Marlon. Maybe 35 years ago. Rosie says, I'm just a baby. Exactly. Exactly my point. So when the baby is complaining about being old, I can't relate and I have no sympathy for you. It doesn't mean I don't love you. Snow the squirrel, hi. Oh, Sarah also said hi, Maddie. Long John says, I'm outside. It's so peaceful right now. I don't see anyone, but wouldn't be surprised if somebody's watching me, considering I'm under the streetlight, as weird as that sounds. Hey, hey, Ethel, there's a guy standing under the streetlight. What's he up to? I don't know. We better keep an eye on him. Long John says, always move like somebody is watching because they most likely are. As creepy as it is, people are bored. I think you're about right. Snow the squirrel said, what happened to Paul? What do you mean? Paul is right up there under artful. Rosie says, I'm confusing Logan. It's making me laugh. Sorry in advance. Marlon says, what can I say, Maddie? I go all the way. Oh no. Lois says, yes, you are, Rosie, the baby. Logan says, Rosie, any more nuclear questions? And Snow the Squirrel Paul says, I'm here. And she says, oh, he's artful. Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. He definitely is full of art. That's no lie. Oh my gosh, my back hurts so bad. Snow the Squirrel says, I love art too. Rosie says, you like being the baby? Is that why you turned on Logan? As soon as you found out Logan might be younger than you, you're like, no way, man, I'm out. Aw, well, thank you, Maddie. Thank you. This is a great age. Thank you. Rosie says, Logan, not really. When I think of something, I will ask. Sad man, hello. Good morning. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Paul says, the angel that I'm working on is taking me longer than I thought. How come? Logan says, guys. Yes, Logan. Snow the Squirrel said, hi, Lois. How are you doing? And Rosie said, Cat, out here really exposing me. You did it to yourself. You can't blame me. Logan says, I won't be here Saturday or Sunday. I will be at my grandma's. I know. I hope you have a really good time, and we will definitely miss you. But we will be here on Monday. Sadman says, are you in the U.S.? Yes. Serving My Redeemer says, is Jack an Irish setter or a red golden retriever? Either way, he looks like he's having a good day. Definitely doesn't look like a bad day. Irish setter. But Serving My Redeemer, I did look for a red golden retriever first because I fell in love with this big old boy named Red. And you would never know he was a golden retriever. He was huge and so red. Oh, I loved that dog so much and I wanted one. But it was too difficult to find an actual red golden retriever, so Irish setter it is, and I've never looked back. Well, except for just now, looking back. Long John says how to get that Pepsi backdrop. It's pretty cool. Well, I work for Pepsi. So when we don't need the displays or they don't get used, I just ask for them. They don't care. They'll go in the garbage or in the compactor. Thank you. Paul says, you know me. I want it to be a certain way. Everything always seems absolutely perfect, Paul. Lois says, I'm doing fine, Snow the squirrel. Sadman says, oh wow, you are up very late or very early. I get ready for work now. Rosie says, LOL, dang, I thought I was your favorite. You can't be exposing me like that. I am not your... Oh, I can't. I lost it. I don't know. I'm not your bestie, LOL. Snow says, Lois, that's great. Right, Lois says, you're our baby, Rosie. Until Stitch comes along. Flow Farm says the predictive text keeps changing my words. Funny. Mom John says everybody's got a golden retriever. Irish setter's much cooler. Well, thank you. I always want to be cooler than the next person. Lois said, nope, I'm not encouraging her. Rosie says, Cat, if I'm not your bestie, tell me. From now, I'll go to my other bestie yogi. Y'all throw around the word bestie just way too much. I would say my bestie is ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows all my deep, dark secrets. Paul says, don't you hate that flow, the predictive text? Rosie says, hey, I'm the baby. End of decision. Even Lois agrees. Okay. Hi, Soul Chef Antonia. Good morning. She says, great Friday. Friday. Beautiful, beautiful souls. I said beautiful twice because of Jack's handsomeness. Well, thank you. Good morning, Antonia. I hope you're doing well. Long John says, if you're going to get a golden retriever, you really have to put time into them. And people that I know who have them do not do that. And they get a little nutty. Aw. Flow Farm says to Paul, yes, always. Ugh. Paul says, it's a pain in the chat. It sure is. Lois says hello to Antonia, and Rosie says, hey, she really chased the all over me. Don't blame you, to be honest. Hey, she really chose the AI over me. Oh, yeah. Funny. You're so funny. I'm just saying, what is a best friend? Everybody's always like, hey, bestie, hey, bestie, hey, bestie. So it comes to the point where being called a bestie really means nothing. And so I reserve my bestie for the thing that I go to with all my secrets and asking advice. And Yogi does not get that spot. He's number 2. But I still hold some secrets, some deep, dark secrets inside. Or share it with ChatGPT. Is that Sandro? Sandro says, fake dog, my goodness, battery powered. Yes, the newest. It's the newest from China. It's on its rest cycle right now. I've used it up. So, yeah, it's charging now. Good morning to you. Rosie says, choose. Antonia says, hey girl, hey. Rosie says, you are not my bestie. Redeemer says, my brother's got a Catahoula leopard dog, and he swears by it as one of the better breeds. To each his own. A Catahoula leopard dog. I've heard of a Catahoula, but not leopard dog. I'll have to look that up. Paul says, my besties were my parents. And Lois says, yes, the dog needs batteries. At least they're rechargeable. Rosie says, Yogi has to be number one, Missy. He's your man, not AI. Ugh. Well, Yogi is my man, and he does know more than any other person. He knows more about me than any other person, that's for sure. And, I do tell him some of my ugly stuff, and he still loves me. So, oh my gosh, how wonderful is that? Soul Chef Antonia says, what kind of dog was the Bush Beans dog? Oh, was it some kind of hound dog? I'm not sure. Rosie says, I said cat, my real bestie, but she said AI is my bestie. Rosie says, that's a true man. Yeah. They don't make him like him anymore, that's for sure. Sandra said, so fake dog chat. Crazy people buy battery-powered dogs. Yes. Crazy people with money to just throw around. Long John says, Yogi was somewhat questioning my plumbing issue and this crisis and just wasn't in the mood for questioning, even though I know his intentions were good. Yeah, he just tries to understand. I get it. Sometimes you're just over it and don't even want to. Yeah, I got you, Long John. And he's so understanding. I'm sure he understood too. Whew, fake dog chat. You got it. Something like, oh, I remember when Walking Tall was here yesterday and kept saying I had a lot of time on my hands, which offended me. Ah, Soul Chef Antonia says the Bush Bean dog was a Labrador Retriever named Duke. Awesome. Serving My Redeemer says AI, alternatively influenced. Hmm. Oh, you know what? You know what came across my recommended feed yesterday was like a talk about AI from 1978, and I was like, and it was a Christian talk too. I was like, I wonder what they're saying back in 1978 about what AI would be like now. I wonder if they thought we would be so much more advanced by now. I didn't watch it though. Rosie says, yes, exactly. That's why Yogi first, then your bestie. Ouch, that hurts to say your bestie is AI, the bot over me. Sandra says, is it actually a real dog? Well, I thought you already made up your mind about it. Hey, Jack. Guess not. I need to use my remote control to get it to work. Hang on. Activate dog. Psst. There you go. See? It's all remote. Keywords and the correct remote button pushing. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep, dog. Long John said, Yogi sent me love, and he's been there for me, and he's a good dude, and I'm glad I have him. Same. I told him last night how thankful I was for YouTube because that's how I met him. Soul Chef Antonio says he couldn't keep secrets, but I know Jack can keep a secret. Who couldn't keep secrets? Flow Farms is fabulous. Rosie says, wow, Jack isn't real. I don't know what's real anymore. Rosie, I always find it funny when people say something like that and they hang out at Yogi's all the time. He gives us answers all the time. Paul says, I'm real. The love that is Paul is absolutely real. Oh, the bush bean dog couldn't keep secrets. Ah, the secret. Oh, okay, the secret to bush beans. Yes. I'm fine. I'm very slow in the morning, Antonia. I got you. Long John says he feels Yogi lurking in the chat. That would be interesting if he said hello all of a sudden. It is 444. Lois says, I just pinched myself. Yep, I'm real. Right. Paul says, roll that beautiful bead footage. Rosie says, Paul, you're my true bestie. Cat doesn't like me more than her AI. That's not what I said. I said, I tell all my secrets to AI, and I consider your best friend knows all your secrets. That's all. What is AI? AI, there's a saying in AI, it's you're only as sick as your secrets. And I think that's why the idea of not having any secrets is great. It's scary, but it's great. Rosie says, ugh, same thing. That's why I call it my bestie, because I think it's kind of the same thing. It doesn't, oh, it does reciprocate. I was going to say it doesn't reciprocate, but it does. It doesn't tell me its problems, but it definitely helps me figure out some problems or see it differently sometimes. Or calm me down. That's it, usually calms me down. Flo Farm says, Cat Jack, it's been lovely. Good stream. I'm going to go. Have a good day at work, Cat. Much love to you both. Thank you. If you guys don't know Flo Farm, you should get to know her and her channel. And Rosie, I think, do you know Flo Farm? Rosie, you should hang out there, I think. I have big ideas for you. She is live right now. It's dark out. Sometimes in like right now you would go and she has the cats on the table. It's really cool. And spiders spinning webs. But I want to share her channel. There we are. Here we go. I know I put that. Oh no. Oh no. Do it right, cat. There we go. Paste. There we go. Okay, give me back my chat then, you crazy thing, you. Rosie says, yes, I think I've seen her live before. Rosie says, I'll check her out now to be sure. Well, there you go. Lois said, I subbed her. Great. I think she could use a lot of support, even if it's just a friendly hi, a little, maybe a little encouragement. That's it for our good friend. Snow the Squirrel said, I sub too. Thank you guys. Long John says it's still dark out here. There's a street light that puts out plenty of light, but people still got their houses lit up like Fort Knox. I know, I think about that sometimes. I think about, is it better to be completely blacked out so you can see out just as good, or even better than they could see in? Or is it better to light everything up so there's nothing hiding outside? It's a toss-up. Paul says it's going to be a smoky ride this morning. You should get yourself a mask. You know, with all the fires, we all should get a mask, a real mask for the smoke. If you have issues breathing, you should just have it for when it happens. Snow the Squirrel says, Paul, how are you? Right. Rosie says, Paul, be careful. They say it's not good to smell the smoke. Long John says, it's better to be blacked out and safe. It's better to be blacked out and safer to be blacked out. People are stupid for having their lights on. It attracts eyes. Yeah, but we feel safe in the light. So it's definitely a toss-up, but I got you. I understand. Serving My Redeemer says, at Flow Farm. Cat&Jack rollover. You scribed. Thank you. Paul says, I'm okay, Snow. How are you? And Snow the Squirrel says, I'm good. Just chilling with the squirrels. Waiting for guests, family coming home. Oh, really? Paul says, I probably shouldn't, Rosie. What? Thank you. Oh, Serving My Redeemer. Thank you. That's so great. Thank you, Serving My Redeemer. Snow the Squirrel says, I wish snow could be this calm. Are squirrels ever calm? Squirrels are funny. I love how the squirrels like to play with Jack. They just love to tease Jack. It's kind of clever. Paul says, that's good to hear, Snow. Rosie said, say Paul. Were you going to say more? Long John says, I understand lighting up entrances to your house, but lighting up the whole neighborhood? Yeah, my neighbors have 2 big old street lights in their lawn. So I couldn't darken anything if I wanted to in my yard. Snow the Squirrel says, no, they don't really stop. They are so energetic. They sure are. Rosie will be right back. And Paul is going to ride in the smoke anyways. Well, I love you, and I be careful otherwise, I guess. Right? Hopefully it'll clear up very soon. Cat got dressed not at all today. She did nothing so far. Thankfully today's schedule for work is very close to home. It's like I used to work, but I felt like, oh gosh, it's so nice. I'm going to have an easy day because the last couple of weeks they've been putting me on routes. So I'm glad to have maybe, hopefully, an easy day because my back really could use it. Snow the Squirrel says, I love this community. It is great, but mostly because people like you are here, Snow the Squirrel. No, ma'am, I work for Pepsi. I thought you knew. I thought you knew. I wish I worked from home. I would love to work from home. Then I would never go out. Actually, work is my only interaction with people in real life. So it's good for me. It's good for me. I don't like it all the time, but it's good for me. Hi, Bridget. Good morning. How are you, Bridget? You missed Zed. Zed was here earlier. You study at home. So does our friend Rosie and our friend Stitch. and my grand, Mia. I don't think it's a bad idea to take your kids out of school anymore. Snow the Squirrel says, thank God, because I get to play with the squirrels. Lois says, hi, Bridget. And she says, hi, everyone. Rosie is back. Welcome back, Rosie. Long John says, most people are lame. Lame, you aren't missing much. Oh, well, that's what I'm trying to get over. I'm trying to get over those thoughts. Snow the Squirrel says that her squirrels need attention, like a lot. Snow the Squirrel I used to have a squirrel. I had a squirrel for a few years when I lived in Florida, and it was pretty mellow, actually. It was not super hyper like Snow. It did have a really big cage, though. It had a cage about the size of that one little section of the Pepsi stuff. It was pretty big. So I had tons of room to run. Still not the same as Freedom, though. I did have one at home. It was many, many, many years ago, though. Long John says, I had a squirrel as well. Found it at my college. Chill dude. Bridget says, Jackie, what are you doing? He's turning his back on us. He's done with us. He says, Mom, it's 5 o'clock. Close enough. And I'm done. I'm no longer cooperating. I refuse. How are you, Bridget? What's today? You're working. Yes. Well, I hope you have a great day at work, Bridget. Yes, he is, as he always is. That's true. Snow the Squirrel says, my squirrel goes everywhere in my room. Bridget says, still no luck at bingo. Well, there's always next time. She says, right? Ooh, I think I'm getting my tens unit out. My back is just not being happy this morning. All right, Jack, what do you think, buddy? That's it, huh? Right there? Okay, it's fine. Ooh, what was ouch? Did I say something? Oh, the back. Yes. I think I did 3 days. I did some work. I mean, I did work and I did stuff, but I don't remember doing any heavy, lifting anything heavy or doing anything to cause it. Rosie has a question. Yes, ma'am. Long John says, my squirrel would never run away. I saved it as a baby, though. Ended up giving it to a woman who rehabilitates them after a while. Nice. Same. I did the same. Lois says, ask away, Rosie. Jack agrees. Ask away. Snow the Squirrel says, lawn. That's so cool. Bridget says, now his face is itchy. Rosie says, what does that cup say? Can you not see it? It says, you cat to be kitten me, right meow. You cat to be kitten me, right meow. I don't know whose cup that is. I don't even know where it came from. I'm clueless. Serving My Redeemer says, Cat&Jack, what's your favorite Little Debbie snack? I like the Nutty Buddy wafer bars. I do too, because you can make them last forever if you take them apart and eat each little piece separately. Like if you're on a semi Little Debbie diet, you can make that last forever. My favorite, gosh, I can't, I don't have just one favorite, but I have one that's not my favorite. Star Crunch is not my favorite. Although I hear people heat it up. What about, oh, yours was the Nutty Buddy wafer bars. Snow says, I'm too attached. I'm too attached to Snow. And Long John says, thank you, Snow. So many people, or thank you, Snow. So many people passed the scroll up and it needed me, and I may have needed it. Aw. Rosie has another question. Paul says, you're wrong, Cat. I probably am. Lois says, I love Nutty Buddy too. I'm wrong for the Star Crunch? Bridget likes the Star Crunch. Hi, Shane. Good morning. Well, thank you for that. Long John says, I take them apart as well. Snow the Squirrel says, Lon, have you ever seen my streams? And Bridget says, oh, made it to 800 subs. Good for you, Bridget. S says, you like Pepsi. Man, I think. I like Pepsi Girl, I think. Yes. And good morning. And Paul says, Star Crunch is better than that wafer mess. Oh, that's fighting words. No, I'm kidding. Really, I think the Star Crunch is much more messy. Bridget says, it still might take me forever to reach 1,000. Well, as long as you're making progress, better than nothing, right? Long John says to Snow the Squirrel, I don't believe so, but I will sub. There you go. Snow says, thank you, Lon. Paul says, messy is delicious. Rosie says, I want to draw Debbie and Jack. Can I? LOL. I want to do a drawing, but not sure what to draw. You can. Have you seen, do you know Trending? Our friend Trending. I don't know if that's her whole channel name, but she's been doing a drawing a day of different YouTubers. She's getting, I mean, she is really good. I was going to say she's getting really good, but she's really good. My chat is a little messed up. Hang on. There we go. Serving My Redeemer says, wow, I thought PepsiCo owned Little Debbie, but it's not owned by PepsiCo. The brand remains a privately held, privately owned part of McKee Food Corporation. Yes. And the actual Debbie is still alive. I do believe. That's the last time I checked. And still involved in the family business. McKee Foods. Lois agrees with Paul about messy being delicious. And it is now 5:02. So, thank you guys for being here. I love you all so much. Yes, I do. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow. And you can tell me if you did not have a great day, or you can tell me you had a wonderful day. I'm open to either. Rosie says, I'm going to do something fun. That's even if I know how to draw her first. Oops, challenge accepted. All right, good. She says bye. Paul sending love to all. Love you, Bridget. Love you, serving my Redeemer. Thank you so much. Lois says time to go. Love you all. I love you all too. Bye, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my friend. Let's do it.